Hello, everyone. Hello. This is Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studio, and I'm here once again to offer another drawing tutorial. Now, I hope you guys are prepared. I have a rubber eraser, some pencils, and two of them is like one of my two favorite pencils that I always use. This is what I call as a graphite pencil. In this case, I am using a 2B graphite pencil, and also I'm using what they call is a 3B graphite pencil. And I have a few number 2s as backup. It's ready to rock and roll. It's actually jumped right on my hand, ready to hit the paper. So anyway, yeah, so they do have different grades of graphite pencils when it comes to it. They have grade B and grade H. B is for bold, which gets you that nice, dark, rich pencil tone. And H is good for it's for hard, which it gets you a little bit more density and thin lines kind of grades where they come to grade. It's good for detail. If you try out pencils, I do recommend you try all of them out, especially if you do a lot of drawing and pencil sketches, because you never know, you may find there's other pencils in the grade where you may look. They do go from to my knowledge, it's from 2B to 9B, and also 2H to 9H, and they all have different types. As you can see here, this is 3B, which I had used right after this, and it's a little bit darker when it comes to the shading. Yeah, okay, see that? There you go. It's a little bit darker when it comes to the shading and whatnot. So I do recommend trying them out. Get a pack. Go to your local art store, get a pack, a variety of graphite pencils, and then just try them all out when it comes down to it. And I guarantee you won't use them all, but you can at least see what works best for you. So what I'm doing here now is just doing some simple loose sketches. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. All right. It's a simple exercise that I do recommend doing. And I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. That's a little bit better. So, I always recommend doing a couple of shapes, especially when you're about to do like a big drawing project. Try doing in 3D and add some shading onto it. When it comes to it, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just all you do. What I'm doing now is I'm just letting the blood flow in my hand a little bit. Trying to just loosen up my limb here, trying to get so I can get ready to do some nice sketch and whatnot. So this is a good thing to try out. And when I'm doing the shading, is I do what's called crosshatch lining. Crosshatch lining is, well, how that works is that you just use a couple lines for shading, and of course the closer the line works, the darker. I don't even notice how it's starting to get a little bit darker now. lot different from this. Obviously, if you look in a comparison, it's definitely a different grade of shading there between from start here to finish and whatnot. And when it comes to like doing your drawing, like say that you want to draw a circle, right? I don't recommend going like this to draw a circle. It's it's okay, but it's not a perfect circle, So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Okay, but when it comes to sketching, what I would recommend doing is just very lightly now with your pencil. See how I'm getting my pencil ready to hit the paper? Just very lightly. Just a very light sketch. And then I'll start using the crosshatch lining for the shading. I'll picture the light is coming this way. The light is hitting this way here, right? So the shading, the dark part of it, would definitely be on this side. And what I'll do is I'll probably darken the line work, just bolding the line work around the circle. And then just continue on adding shading. Just a couple of lines grouped together. All right, you see, like so. And then of course, the light source will be right here. So if you want to, you can go this way and then start adding another line going kind of like, not vertically, but more in a slant, like so. And then you can do some more crosshatch lining. I'm gonna erase this line here to make it more realistic. So you don't want it to look like a definite like circle. You want to make it like blend a little bit. And sometimes it's good to squint your eyes while you're doing this. So, it'll give it that more simplicity. When you look at it, you can see if this looks okay that way. Just squint your eyes a little bit. Here we go. And then you could probably add like a circle here. Like a little flat or oval. This will be the shadow. We can make a bigger shadow. And then you could probably make it a little bit more darker on this side here. This would help you, give you that more of a 3D look. It won't look too flat. It will give, it won't look like a flat cartoon. It'll give it more like that realistic type look. And then you could just always layer on more shading. You could use your finger, smudge it a little bit. Or you can use like a piece of tissue or a napkin. You don't want to get your fingers dirty. just see I have like a napkin here. I have paper towels here. So I'm like, why not use it? You see, already, it's starting to come, but don't abuse it too much. Sometimes I would say less is more. And I'll go like a little bit smudge around the light source there, just so I can give it a little bit more blend, and then I'll use my eraser. Look at that. All right. And then, so it's good to look at things more in the 3D. Like when I'm, like say I'm doing a triangle, I would picture it more like a cylinder, like a circle bottom. You see how I'm doing it very lightly. You see? And then I will do the crosshatch lining again. And then once again, this will be the shade. Like say we're looking up there, and this is a little person here standing. Just gonna draw a little doodle there, a little person standing. You're wondering why this cylinder is like right above him. Hope he's not gonna get captured. But anyway, say this is a solid bottom here, so this will be definitely shaded, because the light source will once again be coming this way, coming down. So, since the light source is going to be coming down this way, same thing again. I'm going to have it shade here, going upward. So, what you see, once again, I'm using a circular motion, not flat, not a line, circular motion. And then, of course, I could do the crisscross action, make this darker, because this will be the darker area since it sees no light. So this will be the darker part from the shading. All right, and then of course there'll be shadow here because it's above ground. Like say this is the line of the landscape here. And it's like hovering above the ground. And since the light is coming from this way here, you can put a little bit of shading on this side here too as well. See, look at that. All right, so this is a very easy, great practice for any beginner before they go into any hardcore project when it comes to doing anything with art. Matter of fact, I forgot to introduce myself. Hello, this is Mikhail Supreme from 90 Day Anime Studios. I know I said that, and I am an illustrator, graphic artist. You can probably see my artwork on a slide right next to me there on the screen. That's a few of my fan artwork that I have drawn. I usually do live drawing on my Facebook page on every Tuesday nights Eastern Standard Time. Normally just do some drawings of my favorite cartoon, anime, comic book, TV series, things like that. And I've been drawing all my life. I'm also a self-comic book publisher. I have my own comic book series called Just Blaze, Legend of the Firing Fist. And I also a freelancer that have done multiple art projects for other IPs, for like the cover work, splash, character designs, things like that nature. And so I've been drawing for a very long time professionally I went to school to Fashion Institute of Technology, where I majored in fashion illustration, and been also got my bachelor's in Briarcliff, where I got for graphic design, fine arts, and things like that. So, enough about me, because I do know how fast these workshops do go. So now we covered a little bit of the basics, and I think I have done enough warm up. So what we're going to get into now is I want to show just a couple of tips on how to do faces, and then we'll climb the ladder and when it comes to it, on among other things. All right. A lot of times, I'm going to use my regular number 2 for this here. A lot of times, is when it comes to drawing, I always recommend for any beginner, even professionals, to always use a reference, especially if you're not sure where to begin and how to start and whatnot. And as you can see here on the screen, I'm using a reference picture here of a face. Hey, he has a nice smile there. Look at him. He's so happy. So when it comes to these things, do not try to like just do it out of your head and your imagination. Trust me, it never comes out the way you want it to look like. So when it comes to using drawings, references, this will definitely help you when it comes to like any small or large details to give you a very powerful outcome finish to your artwork. So, got my paper here, and I'm going to look at the drawing. And when I start a drawing, and I can't stress this any further, do it very lightly. Very lightly. I start with a circle. Okay? And what I would do next is I'm going to look at the eye line. I'm going to go like right here. Sorry. That's a little bit better. And then I'm going to look at the line going this way here. Now, this is not the perfect face for beginners, I have to admit. This one is more like more of an angled 3/4 directional face. All right, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that. All right, you notice that I didn't put the line going straight down the middle. I put it toward this way because the individual is looking that way. All right, so I'm not going to have it have the line going vertically down in the middle of the face. All right, so then what I'm going to do off from the face, I am from the circle, I'm going to come down here, but this will be the chin. All right, and I'm going to comb up this way here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place another circle right here in the back of his head. Why? It's because this will be his cranium. You have to learn a little bit about anatomy when it comes to it. He's not going to have a flat back head. He actually does have a skull. So I'm adding another circle here. And then, of course, I'm going to just put from this chin area, just 2 lines. That'll be representing his neck. All right. I'm going to go down just a little bit. There we go. That's much, much better. All right. This right here will be considered his nose line. Halfway down from there, this will be his mouth line. Okay. So, since this is going to be his eye line here, what I'm going to do next is that I'm just going to put a circle here and a circle there. All right. And then this will be his eyes. So I know they're spaced out correctly. I know they're not going to be crooked. No eye here, no eye down here. It's going to be on the same line, okay? And they're looking toward this way here, all right? I'm going to put another line here. This is where his eyebrow will be at. See? All right. So if you look at the picture, I notice his ears is around the same length distance from where the eyes and the nose will be. Speaking of which, I'm going to put a circle here. That will be for his nose. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a circle here, and that'll be representing his ear. All right. So right here, I already got down the map of his face here a little bit, and I'm using simple line work guidelines and also shapes so I can make sure everything is a-okay. Circle for the skull, circle for the face, comb, V, chin, circle for the chin here, and 2 lines for the neck, and another oval here, but what I say is a potato chip ear. There we go. So we're good. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go with the mouth. With this line here, I'm going to start the mouth. Go above there because he's smiling. It's very wide. And then I'm going from the line, going down in a circular motion. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start working on the eyes a little bit. Now, when it comes to the eyes, I'm going to start with the eyelash. When I start a character, I always like to start darkening, especially a boy character. I darken the eyelash first. All right, same thing on this side here. I don't add like individual lashes, things like that, because he's a boy. I want to show that type of gender. All right, he was a female, then I'll probably put like the eyelashes and all those kind of things. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go down just a little bit. There we go, zoom in. All right, there we go. So I'm going to go in there. Darken in this side here. Very lightly on the bottom. Again, I'm looking at the reference while I'm doing this. It's always good to look at the reference. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a circle here for the pupil, because he's looking that way in this direction. Put a line here, put a line here to show anatomy that he does have eyelids. He has the ability to blink. So now I'm going to do is from here, he has like an indent here. If you look at the reference, that goes right toward his eye. And then it goes right toward the cheekbone. Don't forget he's smiling. Going downward. Show a little definition for the chin. Again, going downward here. Angle by the jawline. Oops, there we go. I'm sorry, I'll zoom out. Flat here for the chin. But it's not a perfect circle. He does have anatomy here where it does go inward and outward to show the cheek, and then downward to where the chin is at. All right? And now I'm going to work on the nose. Now, if you see on the bridge of his nose, I'm going to start here by the eyebrow, going downward, hit the line here. You see that? So that shows me that's the center of the face, going downward in a slant. Then I'm going to go upward a little bit, curve in, hit the line here once again, And then I'm going to add the nostril here. Here we go. I'm going to work a little bit on those eyebrows. He has very thick eyebrows. I always like to start from the bridge of the nose, thick, and then thin toward the end where we reach the face. Same thing again, thick, and then thin toward the side of the face. And then I'm going to just use a couple of lines here to show there is hair. There we go. Now off from the nose, I like to dip in, because we always have that dip right under our nose. We'll work on that face. I'm looking at the face. He has a very wide smile. He's like so happy. Curve. Now, any cartoonist or illustrator use these tools when it comes to character designing in any stylistic anime cartoon ever. I'm gonna add a little bottom lip here. There we go. I'm gonna go finish up with the head here. Now, it's good to say that now it's safe to erase some of this eraser line work. You know, just make sure you don't erase everything that's important, but I'm gonna get rid of some of the guidelines here in the middle of the face here and around the chin, so we can see a little bit better of the design. And see on the outcome. Now, I went a little bit too far. I do want this line here on top here that shows the center of the face. And I'll show you why in a minute. I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit. All right. So now I'm gonna do is I'm going to work on that ear. Off from the face. Curve on top. Try to look for detail on the shape of the ear. Notice it's not a perfect circle. Another circular line in here, the upper flap. And then of course, I always like to do is just another curl in, out, going curl in, outward, the little flap here. And then another line here on this side, but not closing in. If you want to, you could hash line, you can put some cross hatch lines in there. Put like a line here just for the cheekbone. Another line here to show he has, you know, little line work here. But you don't want to do too much because, you know, he's a young person. He looks like he's like probably 17, 18 to his early 20s. So you don't want to add too much lines. You want to make him look like his age. All right. Yes, this neck here. He has a very long neck. Just gonna put a little circular motion for the collar of his shirt. Notice how I'm drawing it very loosely. I try not to focus too much on focusing on a dominant line. He has like a Adam's apple here. There we go. All right. So now, so far so good. I'm going to darken his iris a little bit here. He's a little bit of cross lining here, darken this a little bit. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add his hair now. The reason why I had this line here is so I can see where his hairline is going to begin. Now, I'm going to go like this real quick. All right, because he has very wild hair. So, but I'm not going to go too crazy. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to figure out where his hairline is going to be. Right on the side here. He has some hair on the side of his head here. He has very wild hair. I'm just going to very loosely create shapes. You see I have very curved triangle type hair. He has some hair going this way here. You know, something like a person like this here, he could go really crazy with the hair and very imaginative on how you want to do it. And he has, say have the hair going outward. You don't want to go too close here because this is his cranium. This is actually his line for his cranium. The hair is on top of the cranium, it's top of his head. So you don't want to make it look too flat. And then he has side hair by his ear. All right. And then I'm going to erase the circle here that I created for his cranium, for his skull. Here we go. Little line work for the cranium there, for the around the neck jugular. I'm going to darken the hair here, crosshatch lines. And then I'm going to use my 2B here. Make sure that when you do this, you know, very loosely with the hair. You may not like certain things, you can always erase it. That's not a problem. You can do the crosshatch lining for certain shading. You notice I'm using the 2B. I'm picturing the light is coming toward this direction, so I'm going to shade all these areas here. But I'm not going to go crazy with this here because I do have other examples I want to get into. And of course, this is just showing you just basic drawing where I utilize guidelines and shapes to help me create a drawing. Now, I could always go more into this and add a lot more detail, try to make it look more realistic, but this is not the lesson for today. Again, this is just for beginners to figure out how to start a drawing. And I'm already 30 minutes in, so I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you if I was drawing this person like more in a straight fashion, like if he was looking straight at me. Just a couple of quick examples. Let me just do this here. I'll use another piece of paper. Here we go. If I was drawing this person going straight, I would just do this. All right. Then, off from that circle, flat line going into the chin, upward, and then meet with the face, with the circle here. This will be the neck. Confusing. I'm gonna use my number 2. That will be for the nose. Another line here, right by where the jawline meets. That will be for the mouth. As you can see, that is the neck. I'll put the eyes here. Another line here, that will be for the eyebrows. I'll put another circle here. Again, for the cranium. The ears, excuse me, are always in between the same line length where the eyes and the nose will be at. That's the circle there, line for the mouth. And then the hairline will meet in the center line here. And of course, I'm just improvising here. And then of course I would just erase the line work, but I'm gonna do that over. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna do that over. Circle. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. All right. Circle, crisscross line. From the circle, going down, flat, in a slant, back upward, and then meet with the circle. This will be for the eye. This will be for the nose. This will be for the mouth. Now you notice how I went straight down the middle because he's looking face frontal now. He ain't looking like how the other drawing is. He's looking the other direction. This will be for the neck. And that will be for the ear, in between where the eyes and nose will be at. This line here will be for the mouth. I'm gonna give him the same smile. Look at that. Another line here, this will be for the eyebrows. Now, if you don't know how to make like a certain line, like if you don't know if your lines are straight, whatnot, you can use a ruler. Me, I like to always sketch it out because I always manipulate it more as I'm layering it and I'm rendering the drawing. So this right here will be where the hairline will begin. Circle here. That'll be for the cranium. And then of course, I'm improvising for the hair. Now if he was looking down, same thing, circle, line going down the center. Instead of like all this line here, it'll just be this right here. Basically just the tip. Not doing the line work because we're foreshortening the drawing. Now this is a little bit more professional with perspectives and stuff like that. But this is how you will work it. There will be a line here. This will be for the nose. Again, this will be for the eyes. Same thing again. The ears will be a little bit more higher. That'll be for the neck, but it's shorter. This right here will be for the eyebrows. Same thing goes with when it comes to the hairline. I'm gonna add more back of the skull there. You won't see too much of the forehead because you'll be seeing more of the skull of the top of the head. All on if you know, it'd be different too also when it comes to like doing the side of the head. Like say you're looking at the, like say that, you know, instead of frontal, he's looking the other direction, full, instead of a quarter. You'll start with a circle once again. I'm going to do that. Another line here. Notice I didn't put no center line because the center line now is on this side, looking this way, looking that way, okay? I'm going to put another circle here. That'll be the chin. The circle here will be for the chin. We'll put another circle here. That'll be the back of his skull. You know. This will be his jawline. In between the eyes and the nose, got the ear. And again, I'm just simplifying. I'm not going crazy detail with this. Indent here. That'll be the nose. Now I'm going to put another line here. That'll be for the mouth. First lip, second lip, meeting with the chin. That'll be with the neck. And of course, when it comes to the eye, I always like to do like more like a TP fashion, like a triangle. Because you're not getting the full round like frontal eye. And then just a small oval for the iris. Let me see if I could scan in or zoom in a little bit. We'll go over here. There we go. All right. Line for the eyelid. This will be for the eyebrow. Let's add some line for the mouth. There we go. All right, so you see that. Center line is this way here. Eye line, nose line, mouth line. And then I added a circle here for the back of the skull. And then this is going to be the neck. All right. I'm not going to go crazy with the hair, but you get the idea. You know, if you want to go with the hair, you can. Imagine where the hairline will be at. Yeah, it's crazy here. Add it on the back of the skull. See, I'm not putting on top of the skull. And then erase some of the, and then erase the line work. Make it cleaner. And again, just as a reminder, this is the reason why I tell you to, when you do your sketch work, to do it very lightly. It's because you have to do the erasing and you don't want to get any of that eraser burn when it comes down to it. Okay? So anyway, let's see what else we have here. When it comes to drawing, like say a body, there's certain things that you need to know. All right, and you have to learn your anatomy. That's for one thing. I always recommend, of course, obviously using references. There we go. And always use a reference. I still use to this day. They have great poses and anatomy traits and detailed line work that I would definitely like to utilize in my drawing. And I can't stress that any further than use references. And also another tip, um, learn from the masters, go to your local library, go online, do your research. If there's a favorite artist you like to you check out, or comic books you read, or mangas, things like that, or find out who that artist is and do your research. Check out their background. See if they have any tutorials. Try to mimic, but don't steal their style. Just utilize it in a concoction in your own art style and skills, and it will definitely work out for you. Practice, practice, practice. All right. So anyway, when it comes to I'm gonna use this muscle guy here, and he has very good muscle structure there. And I'm not gonna do a full body because I don't think I have time for this, and I want to show you real quick female as well. It's what I would do is I'll start with a circle very lightly. And the only reason I'm doing it dark is so you guys can see it. Then I'm gonna put a line here. That'll be for the neck. It's funny for when it comes to men and female drawings. I always like to use squares for men, and I like to use females with circles. So for this case, I'm using a square for his upper abdomen. Another type square shape for his lower abdomen, his torso here. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line from there going straight down the middle. Going to use another square here for his lower torso. Then I'm going to add another square here for his shoulders. And then I'm going to put lines coming from his shoulders. This will be his arms. Now, important thing is I'm going to put a line here. This is going to be where his navel is going to be at. All right. So when it comes to this, if you look at the reference, I always like to have the elbow lined up where the navel is. I'm gonna put a couple of line work squares here, and there you go. Now this is what I call step one, laying down the foundation. I know everything's gonna fit on the page. If I need to make any adjustments, I can do so. I can erase and make any necessary changes. So I'm going to do here now. I want the arm a little bit wider away from the body. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to do the crisscross. Now the thing about this one here is that his head is looking downward, so he's definitely going to have more skull. So I'm going to add another circle here to show the back of his skull. From the first skull here, I'm going to go down the line, circle for the chin, back up, all right, there we go. This line here will be for the eye. This line here is going to be for the nose. And then from the jaw line here, starting, we'll be going for the mouth. You see how I did that? The jaw line is usually what I always use for where the mouth is going to, mouth line is going to be. Now, he doesn't have much of a neck showing because his head is looking downward. All right, so I don't have to worry about that. And he has huge shoulders here. So I'm going to go ahead and mimic that shape, circular motion. Here we go. And then I'm going to put the eyes here. Okay. And then circle here for the nose. And of course here, this will be more for the mouth. Little line work for the chin. And of course his ears will be a little bit up above his ears there, because if you show the head down demonstration, the ears look always above the eyes. The ears goes above the eyes when the head's going downward. Then I'm going to mess with the shoulders here. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it in a box shaped motion. It's going to be more circular. We want to show a little bit of body. This line here, down the middle, that's going to be separating for its chest. See that? We're going to have two lines going circular down. He has a big chest. Okay, and then he has the ribs. Like I forgot to mention, this will be more like his rib cage. See? So I'm going to go more like not straight, but round. Let's scope out those ribs. His armpits right there. And then he has abs. It's like a six-pack ab there. So I'm going to add like a couple of lines here. That will help me to do that. Circular motion. All right, so this will be more of his abs there. All right. Then I'm going to go into his triceps, into his elbow. Usually have his triceps because there's 3 muscles in there. I don't need this line work here. Looking at the detail of the artwork, of the reference. Then I'm going to go into the forearm. Elbow. This is what I call adding meat to the bone. Notice how I'm using circles to help me make perfect circles for the forearms. He has his hands in his pockets. Just making the shorts, add some crosshatch lines. Probably has little strings that comes out there. I'm gonna get rid of some of this line work. circles for his nipples. You want to add some crosshatch lines, you can do so. See how I'm adding a little bit of line detail. Show muscle and anatomy. And I do recommend, like, you know, when it comes to doing like these drawings, I do recommend that you practice, like, you know, take your sketch pad out, but when you go somewhere, notice how people mannerisms are and how they pose themselves, how they stand, how they gesture themselves, while they talking to each other, communicating. You know, use all that as a reference. It will help you make a great guide to yourself to, you know, learn a little bit of life drawing. You know, get rid of those circles there for the elbows. I'm not going to mess with the face because we already covered faces so far. But as you can see here, so far so good. This line here is way too dominant. You want to, you know, sometimes you want to make things look a little bit more softer. See? You know, so study bodies and whatnot, study the anatomy, see how things work out for you. As you can see here from before and after, you know, which I don't have an after before, unfortunately, but you see here that I start with the circles, a square here, line, added the meat to the bones, and then I layered it, and rendered, and added line details that makes it necessary to look like what I want it to look like. You know, so what I'm going to get into next real fast is the female. Let's see here if I can find. All right, here we go. Same thing again. Now, when it comes to men and female genders and whatnot, you know, their posture is a lot different, obviously. The way they stand, the way they talk, the way they communicate, their gestures and whatnot. So, same thing again. I'm going to start with a circle. Okay. And let's get rid of this here. We'll go with that. I'm going to start with, this is going to be the neck. This is going to be the body. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an S curve. See how I'm adding like kind of like an oval shape for the upper body, but then instead of going straight down, I'm going to add an S curve, and then add another circle here. This will be her rib cage. All right, and then this I'm going to add a circle here and a circle here. This right here, I'm going to think that her navel is right here. So her elbow will be right here. And she has her hands on her hips, like so. And then she has one line. She's resting her weight onto, I would say, her right leg, which is on our left side. So I'm going to add that right here. She has another leg going inward, like so. And then it's up off to the side. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. See? All right, now I'm going to try to zoom out now. All right, I'm going to zoom. Let me see here. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to the head. You see how I have the body going down, S curve into the hip, the leg here going inward, outward out, and this one going straight down here this way here. I'm not going to worry about the feet just yet. All right, so I'm going to try to go work on this fast a little bit because I actually went over the time limit, but it's all good. Hopefully you guys get anything out of this. This is like simple things that a lot of artists definitely do use. Same thing again. This cross here, this will be where her bosom will be at. Now I'm just adding meat to the bones. Now, I said this will be where her chest would be at, but her boobs would overlap. And I'm going to bounce off from the line there. Curve over, meet into the armpit. Curve inward where the chest is at. And then go right where the stomach is at. And then I'm going to go a little bit wider toward the hips because females have wider hips than males. Going to add the meat to the bones to the arms. Now her hands are like this on her hips. And it's just a circle there as a reference. Same thing here. Right where her hands are at, that's where her pants ends. All right. Just adding like a little line detail for the shirt. This will be the crotch will be at. And I'm going to continue on. Again, you see, I'm just letting my pencil glide. This will where the knees will lock and meet. From the crotch there, it's adding meat to the bones with the leg. This is where her knee will be at. Back of her calf. Same thing here on this side. Back of the calf. This will be flat. Back of the calf will be rounded. And of course, you know, you'll have like the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Same thing that I told you before when it comes to like doing the head. Again, I'm going to add another circle motion around here. That'll be for the skull. Sorry about that. Then of course, she has bangs over her head, so I will put a line here that shows that. And then I could just add like just the lines. And then she has like a ponytail hair. Not a ponytail, but her hair is tied up and then it comes outward here behind her shoulders. I'm not going full detail in it. By this point, you should already get an idea what I mean when it comes to like doing the head and whatnot. But I just wanted to have you guys get out of this. And the main thing, what I want you guys to get out of this is using simple line work and shapes can help you, give you a very powerful outcome finish when it comes to drawing, and also using references. So what I want you guys to start doing is start practicing on doing shapes. Start working on shapes and start working on line work. Use the cross-hatching method. And you will see your artwork skill level will go up tenfold. I guarantee it. Now I know there's a couple of artists out there or people that's probably gifted just to draw it like a Xerox copy, but they may have tutorials that show you go from line to line. But if you're not skilled and say that you get a job or you want to draw up something specific, that's not going to help you unless they show you how to draw that specifically. But like say you want to draw something custom that's not out there, utilizing these kind of lines and shapes to look at things as shapes is, I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to be half the battle. It will be half the battle when it comes to drawing sketching, landscaping, and you will see how simplified works as you render and layer your drawing. Now, obviously, if I really wanted to draw this girl, it would take me maybe like maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on line detail, with just pencil work now. But since we don't have that, I'm just going to show you. It's just by utilizing circles, that's curve, circle here, a couple of lines to guide you. It's all half the battle there, and it's up to you how much detail, line work, and shading you want to add on to it. So, on that note, this is Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios, and I want to thank the library for having me come in to show you simple things of guides of drawing, basic drawing 101. And I didn't go into hands and feet, but that's a whole other lesson on that point. So, go out there, practice, practice, practice. Try out different graphite pencils. And believe me, you will become a professional. I wish you guys luck. See you in the next video. This is Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios, signing out. Have a blessed day, everyone.